Well, as much as anyone else, I would love to find my rock, the person who will complete me, my other half. But sadly, don't shoot the messenger. I don't think this person can really exist, or rather, they can exist, but not for very long, for reasons that I will come to. Now, I think in our society and in many other cultures around the world, we're governed by something which I call, in my book, the fairy tale narrative. This belief that if you meet your partner, all your problems will be solved. It's the ultimatum of life. It's the only route to happiness. You can see it in the language that we use. You know, people say things like, oh, he or she, they've had such a bad time of late, I do hope they meet someone. You know, as if that's going to solve all their problems. Or they say, you know, the fact that we use the term settle down. Oh, she's settled down now, she's happy. It's almost like, that's it, you know, life's over. I have an issue with this for two reasons. One, it implies that our life before we settle down was somehow unsettled, you know, was it insignificant? And also, does it mean that once we meet someone, the credits roll and that's it, and life's over? You know, you see in all the Hollywood movies, it's all about how the boy meets the girl, and then once they meet, the credits roll and it's game over, like they live happily ever after. But what we know is that isn't always the case. Many people can be unhappy in a marriage or in a long-term relationship. Now, love is inherently human. I love falling in love. Who doesn't? It's arguably one of the biggest human highs of all. Who doesn't like that feeling when you meet someone and you really like them and they are the center of your universe? But sadly, this isn't really compatible with either our human nature and our society. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, let's look at anthropology. Some anthropologists have looked at the human mind when it's in love. Now, a leading researcher in this field is called Dr. Helen Fisher. Some of you may have heard of her. She's based in the States. She's dedicated her whole life to studying couples in love in brain scanners. It's absolutely fascinating. When she looks at couples that are in that honeymoon phase of romance, the bit of their brain that's lit up is the part of the brain which is the same area that's responsible for addiction. So essentially, a crack addict has a similar brain pattern to someone who's falling in love. And this explains why we become quite fervent. This explains why people can kill for romantic love. It actually makes us slightly crazy. But, but we like it, and our brains are full of dopamine when we're in this stage. But what they also know is this doesn't last for very long. And there are evolutionary reasons why we develop this capacity as humans.